Hi, I'm Julie Van Ullen with iSpot, and this is Measurement Mavens, where we talk to our best and brightest clients about what they're thinking about in this ever-evolving marketplace. So today, I'm so happy to be joined by Kimberly Bikowski from Dick's Sporting Goods to talk a little bit about the creative world of measurement. Welcome, Kimberly.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm Kimberly Bikowski. I'm Director of Marketing Insights at Dick's Sporting Goods.
Well, we're thrilled to have you here. What I'd love to first talk to you a little bit about is KPIs generally. As everybody knows, iSpot encompasses everything from creative to audience to outcomes, and you're one of our most prolific users in the creative category. So I would love to start by just talking a little bit about what KPIs matter most to you and how does iSpot factor into that?
Yeah, so we've been using ACE metrics for about 12 years. And I would say that from the time that we started utilizing ACE metrics for a creative measurement, it's really kind of changed throughout the years on what KPIs are really important to us. So I would say now the KPIs that we tend to look at are brand recall. Verbatims are very important to us to really understand from a creative perspective what is the audience saying about different creative measures that we take. And then we do a lot of pre-testing. And so within the pre-testing, those KPIs, especially the brand recall, the awareness, even the emos, and also the custom questions are really important for us to be able to ground ourselves in what's doing well, what's not doing well, and we're able to take that back to our creative leadership, and they're able to kind of make some of those changes before it goes into full production.
So the verbatims for you, and you talked a little bit about this earlier, are seemingly like one of the most critical elements. Can you talk a little bit about maybe like one or two learnings that have been particularly relevant to you with regard to the verbatims?
Sure. So verbatims for us are really important, and it's something that we do take a ton of time to sit and comb through and read through all of the verbatims, because there are certain different nomenclatures that people use that can, throw one audience off versus another. So one of the things that we've looked at with verbatims is one of our brands is a female brand, and being able to look at the verbatims and understand from her point of view that we weren't connecting with her as much. The comments that we were getting within the verbatims were, "This doesn't really feel like the brand that I used to know." And so we're able to take a lot of those verbatims back and say, hey, it's not coming from us, it's coming from the voice of our customer, that she's not feeling connected to the brand. So what can we do from a creative perspective to bring her back in? Or do we need to even look at what we're doing from a brand perspective to see, are we getting off point of what we were originally, creating a brand for?
Earlier today and throughout this whole conference, we're talking a lot about AI as an evolution to creative, to media, and how we can be more in real time reacting to the marketplace and our competitive set. Whether it's AI or something else, can you talk a little bit about the evolution of creative and creative measurement and some of the opportunities and challenges that you see today?
AI has really helped us be able to pre-test before, and our turnaround time is a lot faster. And so by us being able to generate different things and understand, what's working, what's not working, really helps us up front on the creative brief. And so I would say AI has really helped us just speed up some of that creative process time.
Quick reaction from you. You saw earlier today that we're in the midst now. We rolled out our AI engine called Sage across our creative platform first, and now it is embarking on a launch on the media side of the business. One of the things that feels quite palpable to me personally is that we feel, both from an industry standpoint and from a technological standpoint, at the precipice of being able to actually integrate creative and media in order to inform outcomes and continue to optimize in that vein. What were some of your reactions from the demos today, or even what's going through your mind in terms of the value creation associated with bringing media and creative closer together?
It was amazing. It was so exciting to see, and the platform was just so easy when we were taken through it. I think one of the things that I'm most excited about is that a lot of times media and creative work in two separate silos, and it's not until a hindsight that those things come together. I think one of the biggest things I'm looking forward to with that integration is being able to understand what audiences are reacting to the different creative that we have out there. So creative is, not always meant for just a gen pop, but is this creative really leaning in towards, our female customer who's 35 to 45? If it is, what platforms is she on? Should we be looking at our media, on platforms that she's on more so than a Gen Pop perspective? So I think that we're going to get a lot more efficiencies, especially when it comes to who we target with audience.
Right. So to plan up front knowingly and purposefully what creatives you'll serve to what demos, and then in an ideal world, be plugged into more programmatic platforms so that you can optimize that stuff in real time. We all kind of talk about internally at iSpot our measurement moments. These are kind of aha moments that either are small ahas from the data or big ahas. What would you say is a more recent measurement moment or an aha moment that you've had?
Yeah, one of them is, we kind of use ACE alongside our brand health platform. And so I would say one of the biggest aha moments is that awareness doesn't always equal consideration. And I think that a couple years ago, we were very strong on, we want to increase aided awareness. We want to increase brand awareness. But then you start realizing that you can put noise in the market, but the ultimate thing is, are people going to then consider you when they have the option of spending $1 with you or $1 with somebody else? And so I think that was the biggest aha moment of we can put out great media, but really we need to be able to convert people into, having consideration for us over our competition.
I'm going to ask you a little bit about outcomes from the perspective of a creative marketer. When we think about the definition of outcomes, I think broadly we think about an ad's effectiveness in driving sales or store visits. But if you start to extrapolate on that, that doesn't just mean things that drive clicks or searches. Not every ad is designed to generate a click, right?
Right.
When you think about some of those more up funnel metrics that define outcomes, what does that look like to you?
Yeah, I mean, so clicks is definitely important, but I would also, we look a lot at frequency. So is the frequency there? Are we top of mind? We're really trying to look at how can we make ourselves an iconic brand. And in order to become an iconic brand, it's how frequent are you in somebody's lives? And that could be from a social perspective, that could be from in-store, bringing them in store from a traffic perspective, but it could also just be these other touch points. So I would say that that's really where, some of our measurement is impressions, traffic, and then also repeat purchasers. Do we have lapsed athletes, or is that getting reduced because people were more top of mind and people continue to come in, to shop with us?
At this particular moment in the industry, with all the change and evolution right now, if you meet someone who's just entering the marketing or advertising space, what would be a sage piece of advice that you might give them?
That's a really great question. My background is not traditional marketing. My background is in product development and product innovation, and so and product and marketing insights. And so my biggest thing of advice would be to just go out and try to learn about as many different areas within the business as possible, because what you think that you're learning right now, you may not think like, okay, that's going to apply in my future, but like everything always comes together. And that's what I've really noticed, is that everything that I did in product development and product innovation ties in with what I've done in marketing insights, which is, the same as consumer insights. So I would just expose yourself to as many opportunities as possible.
Makes sense. Everything is interconnected at the end of the day. So the more you know, for sure.
Yep.
Well, Kimberly, thank you so much for being with us today and imparting so much knowledge.
Thank you. Appreciate it.